Welcome to another spine-tingling episode of Half Haunted, where we'll dive into the eerie stories and haunted histories of the nation's most notorious locations. From asylums to taverns to theaters and shit, these places are teeming with both history and supernatural. Let's embark on a journey that's sure to send shivers down your spine. Let's dive in with our first stop, the Trans-Allegheny Lunatic Asylum. I'm also here today with my co-host Raji, and I'm going to start it off today. Our first stop is in Weston, West Virginia, home to the Trans-Allegheny Lunatic Asylum. This foreboding structure is the largest hand-cut stone masonry building in the North America and U.S. National Historic Landmark. Built in the 1800s to provide care for the mentally ill, it quickly spiraled into overcrowding, inhumane treatments, and sorrowful stories. Patients were often admitted for reasons far from medical, like disobedience, menopause, and even alcoholism. Treatments like electroshock therapy, lobotomies, and ice baths were commonplace. Leaving behind a legacy of English, today visitors report eerie phenomenon, cold spots, objects moving, ghostly figures. One of the most famous spirits is Lily, a child believed to be lingering presence from the asylum's past. The asylum offers more than just ghost stories. History tours provide insight to early mental health care practices, while paranormal lockdowns let brave souls experience hauntings firsthand. Seasonal events like haunted houses and Halloween festivals add to the intrigue. Some of the highlights originally used as a Civil War military post. Staff lived on the site, sharing the space with patrons and the asylum's dark energy. And paranormal encounters included ghostly apparitions, unexplained sounds, and of course, Lily's playful spirits. So whether you're drawn by its history or lore of the paranormal, the Trans-Allegheny Lunatic Asylum is a chilling reminder of shadows cast by humanities. This has been on all the ghost shows several times. They've caught stuff. But what I don't like about places like this, I like the history, and I like that there's probably true hauntings at these places, but people use it as like the Halloween haunted houses, where they scare people intentionally. They use these actual haunted places as spirit, and I disagree with that, doing that kind of stuff. It's one thing to go and do a paranormal investigation, but it's one thing to do that there. You know what I mean? If that makes sense. That's just my opinion.
Never even heard of such a thing. No.
They do that at Waverly Hills. I heard they do that there. But those places are actually haunted.
Yeah. No.
So the next one is we'll travel to Savannah, Georgia, to the Moon River Brewing Company, where craft beer meets ghostly tales. Originally built as a city hotel in 1821, this historic building has seen it all. It served from a bank, a post office, even as a makeshift hospital during the yellow fever epidemic. Its chilling past includes duels, mysterious death, a restless spirit that still haunts the halls. Visitors and staff frequently report flying objects, disembodied voices, ghostly presence. One of the most famous spirits is James Jones Stark, a duelist shot dead in 1832. His ghostly figure has been seen roaming the premises. There's also a woman in white, a little girl who plays upstairs, and the echoes of a dragging chains in the basement. Renovations often stir up paranormal activity, with tools moved and thrown and furniture mysteriously rearranged. But if you're feeling brave, you can enjoy a beer and food in one of the most famous haunted places. Yeah, I don't know that I would be trying to have a beer and ghost at the same time. I'm not sure. Some of the highlights of this Moon River Brewing Company, it's formerly hosted figures like Marquise de Lafayette and naturalist James Audubon, Ghostly encounters include Stark, the woman in white, and ghostly children. And paranormal activity intensifies during renovations with tools and furniture moving. Well, that's with every renovation, though, if you have stuff like that. That's also been on different various ghost investigations and paranormal places. So if you're ever in Savannah, Georgia, that might be a place to go check out is the Moon River Brewing Company. Take it away to our next location, Mr.
We're
Raji.
going east. Yes, we are going East Coast. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
We are now arriving in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, at the Eastern State Penitentiary, the world's first true penitentiary, opened in 1829. Its radical Pennsylvania system enforced silence and solitude to encourage repentance. But what began as an innovative experiment quickly turned into a living nightmare, with so many prisoners suffering mental deterioration. Paranormal activity runs rampant in cell blocks 4 and 12, where visitors and investigators report whispers, cries, and shadowy figures. Shows like Ghost Adventures and Taps have captured compelling evidence, solidifying ESP's reputation as one of the most haunted locations in America. Famous inmates include Al Capone, who enjoyed a surprisingly luxurious cell adorned with rugs and antiques, and Slick Willie Sutton. That's right.
What a
Number
name.
1, Willie Sutton. I'm related to him. My grandmother's maiden name.
Really?
Yes.
That is
And
awesome. I didn't know.
Yes, I'm
You
related
were
to
really
Willie.
related to him? That's awesome.
I am related to him.
That is cool.
Yes, who masterminded a daring escape through a 97-foot tunnel. Today, the penitentiary is a museum offering historical tours and the renowned Halloween attraction, Terror Behind the Walls.
Another Halloween attraction. Really?
I'm not going stupid.
I'm not either. That's stupid.
That's just messed up. That's angry things. And I'm not carrying anything home with me because I paid a ticket.
Right.
Gothic architecture with the Eye of God, skylights symbolizing divine oversight. Paranormal hotspots include the warden's residence, cell blocks, and the infamous Mad Chair. Listed as a national landmark blending history and the supernatural. But I did not know Willie Sutton was at this penitentiary.
That's
and there
pretty
have
deep.
been many, especially East Coast police shows and so forth. His name does pop up a lot. And I'm like, what? Yeah, I'm related to him.
That's cool.
It runs in.
Slick Willie Sutton.
Ooh, yeah. So now we're going West Coast.
Mm-hmm.
Beneath Portland, Oregon, lies a web of darkness known as the Shanghai Tunnels. Originally built for transporting goods to ships, these underground passageways became the center of a nefarious practice called Shanghaiing. Victims, primarily unsuspecting men and women, were abducted through the trapdoors in saloons and forced into labor or prostitution. Many saloons had secret entrances to the tunnels where captors stripped victims of their shoes to hinder escape. The floors were often covered in broken glass, adding to their misery. Visitors today report chilling whispers and shadowy figures and the faint chime of wind bells with no airflow. One of the most famous spirits is Nina, a woman believed to have been murdered and left in a holding cell. The Cascade Geographic Society offers guided tours blending history with eerie tales of the paranormal. For ghost hunters, the Shanghai Tunnels provide a perfect mix of haunting and history. Over 2,000 people were thought to have been shanghaied between 1850 and 1940. Reports of moans, alcohol smells, shadowy apparitions are common. Paranormal investigators have captured lights, mists, and unexplained sounds.
That's crazy. I don't know that I would go visit though because it's underground, and I'm like, I need to know where the exits are.
That's
I'm
right.
kind of claustrophobic.
Yeah, I understand. The fact that they put glass down,
that's messed up.
The torturing of people that just, okay, next, we're going south. We're going to Kentucky. I can't right now.
Kentucky. You got to say Kentucky.
We're going Louisville, Kentucky.
Kentucky.
Don't yell at me, but I might be saying it wrong. Like Montgomery, Louisville. We are going to the Waverly Hills Sanatorium in Louisville, Kentucky. It's a building steeped in sorrow and whispers of paranormal. Waverly Hills Sanatorium opened in 1910 to treat tuberculosis. It opened in 1910 and it was considered state of the art. However, the disease claimed thousands of lives, and experimental treatments like rib removal and lung expansion often did more harm than good. The
Jesus.
sanatorium's infamous body chute was used to discreetly transport the deceased out of sight, preserving patient morale. Today, it's a hotspot for ghostly activity with sightings of a man in white coat in the kitchen, children playing in the solarium, and a wheelchair that moves on its own.
That chute is long and it's freaky as shit. That's crazy.
Ew.
Seen it on
The haunted.
TV and I'm like,
That's right, people. The haunted fifth floor, where mentally unstable patients were housed, is particularly notorious for ghostly voices and apparitions. Tours and ghost hunts at Waverly Hills attract history buffs and paranormal enthusiasts alike. Seasonal attractions like their Halloween haunted house make it a must visit for those seeking both thrills and chills. Famous spirits include a little girl playing with a leather ball and a woman with bleeding wrists. Paranormal groups have documented EVPs, shadowy figures, and unexplained movement. The site is undergoing restoration to preserve its haunted legacy. So you tell me we have now read 2 places that do Halloween scare 'em ups?
yeah,
And
a lot of
places
these
that are
places do, like the sanatoriums and asylums, they do that. They have ghost tours, and then during Halloween, and they're packed full of people. There are
they are.
lines and tickets, and they make money doing that shit.
Oh, and I get it because not only do you have the feel of somebody and a fake smock is going to get you, you're also someplace that's actually haunted. But that combo plate is something I do not want.
I don't
I don't.
I don't either. I mean, it's ridiculous in my opinion.
We're basically going back next door to Savannah. I don't know how next door it is because I don't read the map all the time. I'm a Yankee more person than anything. So, anywho.
I'm a Yankee.
Yeah, the Pirate's House nestled on the outskirts of Savannah's historic district. The Pirate's House quickly became infamous for Shanghai. Again? Legend has it sailors who drank too much would wake up aboard ships forced into years of service. The restaurant today remains remnants of its tunnels, once used to smuggle unsuspecting sailors. Ghostly encounters abound in the captain's room, where patrons report hearing curses, laughter, and cries for rum. Well, dining chairs arrange themselves and candles extinguish with no explanation. The shadowy pirate captain is often roaming the upstairs rooms and basement, adding to the building's eerie reputation. Paranormal investigators have captured voices demanding rum and recorded phantom footsteps. Staff often experience doors swinging and oppressive sense of unease. Despite its haunted reputation, the restaurant serves some of the best food in Savannah.
Imagine that though, like you wake up, you're drinking too much, and you're on shit, forced to do labor. What happened? Oh, you drink too
Right?
much, you're forced to labor.
I'd be mad. Oh, I'd
I
be
would
mad.
too. What the hell's going on? So
Oh.
now we're back to Kentucky. So our stop now is in Wilder, Kentucky, home to Bobby Mackey's Music World, a nightclub with a sinister reputation. This venue started as a slaughterhouse in the 1850s, and its basement, dubbed Hell's Gate, was allegedly used for satanic rituals. Later it became a speakeasy, a casino, and eventually a nightclub where tales of mob violence and tragedy linger. One of the most infamous stories involves Pearl Bryan, a pregnant woman who was brutally murdered in 1896. Her decapitated body was found near the site, and her spirit is said to roam the grounds, searching for her missing head. Another tragic figure I know is Joanna, a mobster's daughter who fell in love with the nightclub singer. After a failed poisoning attempt on her father, she ended her own life. Visitors report encountering her ghost, often accompanied by a scent of roses. But that's not all. poltergeist activity runs rampant. Lights flicker, doors unlock themselves, the jukebox plays without warning. An exorcism in 1994 failed to expel the spirit, leaving Bobby Mackey's a hotspot for ghost hunters and thrill seekers alike. Some of the key highlights of Bobby Mackey's paranormal claims include physical attacks, unexplained sounds, and shadowy figures. A warning sign at the entrance alerts patrons to the hauntings, and it's been featured on Ghost Adventures and Ghost Hunters. So, a little bit about Bobby Mackey's. Ghost Adventures has been on the show several times with the host. Everybody knows the host. And there's a well there, and it's been known to be a portal to HEE hockey sticks. And it's been known to have some really crazy, evil stuff going on. Unfortunately, this place was torn down December 10th, 2024. I think they're going to rebuild it or move it or something. But it was torn down last month.
In 1 full month, we're flip-flopping. We're going back to Savannah, Georgia. We're going over to the Colonial Park Cemetery.
Ooh, cemetery right up my alley.
Colonial Park Cemetery, a historical burial ground with over 8,700 unmarked graves, established in 1750. This cemetery has witnessed yellow fever epidemics, violent duels, and Civil War desecrations. Union soldiers vandalized graves and even used crypts as shelter during the occupation in 1864. One of the cemetery's most infamous spirits is Renee Rendolia Ash. I would say that's pronounced A-S-T-H as Ash. Lynched for murders he likely didn't commit. Visitors claim his vengeful spirit haunts the grounds. There are also reports of a spectral boy running and climbing trees before vanishing into thin air. Besides, eerie transformation into the public park in 1896 left many unmarked graves scattered underfoot, adding to its haunted reputation. Ghost hunters flocked to Colonial Park, drawn by sightings of ghostly figures and unexplained phenomenon. The cemetery's layered history makes it a compelling destination for those seeking a connection to Savannah's past. Final resting place for figures like Button Gwinnett, a singer of the Declaration of Independence.
Did you say singer?
Singer. Did I say singer?
Yeah, a signer. Declaration of Independence.
And myself, who gives a flying shit if he's saying this song? Woo! So hold on.
I was like, singer. I just let him roll with them. I mean, man, I need to tell her. Who's gonna know? Somebody's gonna know.
You're right. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's
do
funny.
this again. Final resting place figures like Button Gwinnett, a signer of the Declaration of Independence. Mass graves from the 1820 yellow fever epidemic remain undisturbed. Sightings include disappearing individuals, spectral children, and mysterious light. The mystery, the area. Yeah.
Oh my God. We're going to go over to Decatur, Illinois, which I have been there. Lincoln Theater is in Decatur, Illinois, a historic venue with a legacy of both entertainment and eerie happenings. Built in 1916 on the site of the Arcade Hotel, which burned down twice, the theater has survived its own share of disasters, including major fires and lightning strikes. Its stage has hosted stars like Harry Houdini, Boris Karloff, and its ghost residents are what truly captivate us. The most famous ghost is Red, a stagehand with fiery red hair who met a gruesome end, either from a fall or during service in World War I. That's a far fetch. Like, is it from a fall or from the war? Like, how do you... That's a...
Yeah.
Take two. He's often seen near the stage or on the spiral staircase, which is another paranormal hotspot. Shadowy figures, cold spots, and unexplained sounds like whispers and screams are frequently reported throughout the building. Despite its reputation, the Lincoln Theater is a cherished landmark. and it underwent restoration in the 1990s and reopened in 2012, drawing history buffs and ghost hunters alike. So, the key highlights of Lincoln Theater hosted legendary performers like Bob Hope and John Philip Sousa. Reports include phantom footsteps, moving seats, curtains shifting on their own. The spiral staircase is infamous for cold spots and ghostly encounters. And the rich history of spine-chilling tales of Lincoln Theater is a testament on how often the past lingers, refusing to take its final bow. So I've been to Decatur, and I drove by the Lincoln Theater, but I have never been in the Lincoln Theater. So that'll be my next stop. That's only like 2-hour drive from where I live. So it's not far from me.
Okay. So I'm doing the Belcourt Castle, but where is it?
You just have to find out why.
You know, it's a masterpiece of French Renaissance, you know? So this architecture was built in 1894 by Oliver Belmont. This Newport Castle dazzles with its 50,000 square foot expanse, featuring a grand staircase, a Versailles-inspired dining room, and a chandelier adorned with 13,000 prisms. But beneath the opulence lies a darker tale. The ballroom, the castle's crown jewel, is also the most haunted. Guests and staff report moving furniture, shadows, cold spots, and even blood-curdling screams.
It's in Newport, Rhode Island.
I will have to look this place up. Yeah, it's all good. Well, we got there. Some blame cursed objects like the salt chairs that make sitters feel unwelcome, or a suit of armor said to emit cries of anguish. Paranormal experts suggest these hauntings aren't tied to past residents, but to spirits attached to these artifacts, collected from around the world by the Tinney family. Even animals sense something strange. Stories abound of a Tinney family dog refusing to enter the ballroom. For paranormal enthusiasts, Belcourt Castle offers ghost tours where its history and hauntings come vividly to light. The ballroom is infamous for moving furniture, shadows, and eerie sensations. Haunted artifacts include a statue of a monk, cursed salt chairs, and a suit of armor tied to a violent death. Originally built for $3 million in 1894, equivalent to over $74 million today, Belcourt Castle is not just a monument to wealth, but a testament of the to the mysteries objects can carry. If you're drawn to grandeur tinged with the supernatural, this castle awaits.
Rhode Island.
What do they mean, salt chairs? Like chairs made of salt?
I guess.
I've never. Now, I know going into
salt
mines. Yeah, I mean, salt mines and little lamps and stuff are supposed to be good for you, but yeah, not these chairs. We are going to Massachusetts now. We're going to the Stone's Public House in Ashland. Stone's Public House is a historic tavern built in 1834 by John Stone, initially a hotel for weary railroad travelers. The property carries a storied history intertwined with tragic events and ghostly phenomena. One chilling tale involves the alleged murder of a card-playing guest by Stone himself. Visitors and staff claim his spirit, along with others, lingers in the tavern. Disembodied voices, objects moving on their own, and eerie sensations are common. The floor is particularly active, where guests have seen the ghostly image of a young girl, possibly tied to the tragic death of a niece who once lived there. The basement reveals even more secrets. It once served as a hidden room for the Underground Railroad. Paranormal investigators have confirmed spirit activity, and visitors report feeling unseen presences in cold spots. Hidden basement room served up as basement room as it stopped on the Underground Railroad. Reports of a ghostly little girl on a second floor window. Paranormal events include moving glasses, voices, and water turning on by itself. Whether you visit for a meal or a ghost hunt, Stone's Public House offers a glimpse into the haunted past that refuses to fade away.
It's every time. Fade away.
Stone, Arizona.
I've been there. Have you been there?
I haven't been there in over 30 years, but yeah. Wait, no, 40.
I went there in 2015. We're heading to
Mhm.
Tombstone, Arizona. It was founded in 1877. Tombstone became famous for its silver mines, lawlessness, and legendary gunfights. Today, it's equally known for its hauntings. The Birdcage Theater is a prime spot, earning its nickname as the wildest, wickedest night spot of its era, with over 140 bullet holes and 26 documented murders within its walls. It's no surprise that visitors report ghostly encounters. Shadowy figures and ghost prostitutes are said to haunt the theater, pulling at patrons and whispering in their ears. Nearby Boot Hill Graveyard is the final resting place for many of Tombstone's violent dead. Eerie lights and ghostly apparitions have been spotted among its weathered tombstones. There is Big Nose Kate Saloon, formerly the Grand Hotel. Here the ghost of Swamper, a prospector murdered for his silver stash, is said to still roam the basement. The Birdcage Theater hosted a poker game lasting over 8 years and saw 26 murders. Boot Hill Graveyard is known for epitaphs like "Hanged by Mike" and reported ghost sightings. And Big Nose Kate Saloon haunted by the Swamper and a prospector who tunneled nearby mines. Tombstone lives up to its name, the town too tough to die, where the past lingers in ghostly form, captivated by those brave enough to explore. Now, let me tell you about this tombstone, right? Oh, look. So, Tombstone, I'm pretty sure back in the day was pretty rough, back when it was booming in the whatever it was, 1877, it's probably booming. But when myself and Lady Red went with me, it was touristy. The only cool part about it, though, to be honest with you, was the Birdcage Theater. You legit walked in there and you thought you were walking into 1877. That shit was cool.
Yeah.
You could totally tell in my opinion, there were spirits in there. I mean, it was creepy and weird, but you respected it. But when you're walking, I didn't even know where the OK Corral was. I walked right past it because it was so touristy.
Yeah.
But Boot Hill Graveyard, I went to visit it and I thought it was, and I was naive, maybe stupid, I don't know. But I was like, is this a made up graveyard? Like, I thought it was made up because they really had the signs that said "Hanged by Mike." I was like, is this really real? Like, I didn't know if this was like a made up. I didn't know, I've never been to anything like that before. I thought it was made up, but obviously now it was a legit graveyard. It was interesting to see part of history, but the Birdcage Theater was the coolest part about the whole town. And that town closed at dark. Like, there was one bar that was open, and that was it. But that was cool, but it's touristy now, but if you haven't been, you should go. Especially the Birdcage Theater, that was cool.
I mean, just because we don't like something doesn't mean it has to stop you from liking it. You have to see for yourself.
Yeah, go see for yourself. Yeah, but I like the history of it.
Yeah.
The history was cool. History was cool. That's my thing. History is what it's about for me, anyway. So.
Yeah, exactly. You ready to go on another trip to Ohio? Ohio.
Mm-hmm.
We are on our way to the Ohio State Reformatory, which is located in Mansfield, Ohio. It opened in 1886 as a progressive prison designed to reform rather than punish. Its architectural blend of Gothic, Queen Anne, and Romanesque styles has meant to inspire inmates, but over the decades, overcrowding and violence turned its ideals into nightmares. This imposing structure has witnessed over 150,000 inmates and countless tales of tragedy. Over 215 marked graves in the prison cemetery tell stories of disease, suicide, and violent deaths. Paranormal enthusiasts are drawn to hot spots like the warden's residence, where the spirit of Helen, the warden's wife, is said to linger. Visitors report the scent of roses and are voice captured in eerie EVP. Other areas like the cell blocks, chapel, and basement are rife with reports of shadow figures, disembodied voices, and cold spots. During its years of operation, OSR saw its share of daring escapes, the most infamous being the 1952 tunnel breakout involving 9 inmates, though their freedom was short-lived. The reformatory features the largest freestanding cell block in the world with 6 tiers of iron-barred cells. Paranormal activity includes shadowy apparitions, mysterious voices, and unexplained sensations in the chapel and basement. Films like The Shawshank Redemption immortalized OSR, cementing its place in pop culture. Today, OSR offers ghost tours, haunted house events, and historical tours that delve into its dark past. If you're looking for chills, the Ohio State Reformatory is a must-visit destination.
I have never been there, but I've heard all about it.
I didn't know that was the place.
Yeah.
From seeing the movie, though.
Yeah.
Very good. Oh, yeah.
Now we're going all the way across country back to California.
Yeah.
From prisons of Ohio, we set sail to Long Beach, California, where there's a donut shop and a liquor store on every corner. We're going to go eat donuts and have a shot of vodka. We set sail on Long Beach, California, where the Queen Mary floats as a haunting reminder of its glorious and tragic past. Once a beacon of luxury travel, the Queen Mary story spans decades of opulence, war, and ghostly encounters. Commissioned in 1930, the Queen Mary made her maiden voyage in 1936, hosting dignitaries like Duke and Duchess of Windsor. But during World War II, she was transformed into the Grey Ghost, transporting over 800,000 troops. After the war, she returned. Yeah, that's a lot of troops. After the war, she returned to civilian service before permanently docked in Long Beach in 1967 as a hotel and museum. The ship's tragic history includes 49 documented deaths, and visitors often report ghostly encounters. One of the most infamous sites is door, you guessed it, 13, the engine room, where 2 men were crushed to death. The guests have seen the ghost of an 18-year-old sailor clad in blue overalls lingering near the shaft alley. Other hotspots include the ship's swimming pool, though long empty. They're teeming with ghostly activity. Guests have reported seeing a woman in vintage bathing suits and hearing the laughter of Jackie, a child who tragically drowned in the first-class staterooms. A ghostly figure of a man in a 1930 suit has been seen, while the Queen's Salon hosts a ghost dance of a woman in a white ball gown. The Queen Mary is said to house over 600 active ghosts, according to psychic Peter James. Notable hauntings include Door 13, swimming pools, and Sir Winston Churchill's suite, where cigar smoke and phantom noises are common. Visitors can choose from historical tours, ghost tours, or overnight stays in staterooms. The Queen Mary stands as a testament to maritime history and mysteries of the afterlife. Whether you're intrigued by its luxurious past or chilling hauntings, this legendary ship promises unforgettable experience. So I'm going to take you through a timeline just to give you a timeline of the ship, because I just found this interesting. So the ship's construction took place from 1930 to 1936. The maiden voyage is in 1936. Ship used by military from 1939 to 1946. The Queen Mary reverts to being a cruise ship in 1947. The Queen Mary was put up for sale in 1967. The Queen Mary is sold to the city of Long Beach, $0.45 million in summer of 1967. Last transatlantic voyage was September of 1967. Queen Mary arrives in Long Beach on December 9th, 1967. Ship is taken off the British registry and officially turned over to the city of Long Beach, December 11, 1967. The ship opened as a hotel and attraction November 2nd, 1972. After several changes of ownership and management, The Queen Mary closes in 1992, but reopens the following year. The last captain of the vessel, Captain John T. Jones, dies at age 87.
I've been there,
So have I.
but I didn't see anything. I didn't feel anything because, and you were around during this time, I ended up having really bad tonsils. So I was in pain the whole week. And I remember my niece did not like it. I remember seeing one of the pools. That pool was big, but because I was in extreme pain, nothing like it. That was just me being in pain for health reasons. I had to get my tonsils out when I got home. It was cool. And the day we went, they were also having a tattoo expo. So here I am suffering and trying to admire all this and seeing some of the most coolest body tattoos I've ever seen. I'm tattooless. I just got scars, surgery, incisions, war wounds, whatever like that. But even though I was in a weakened state, I felt nothing, certain energies or anything, because your body's broken down. You're going to feel things at times. But it was cool to see. Though I had a little one clinging to me because she was scared to death. Now she's a mommy herself, but she was not having it. To this day, she's like, mm-mm.
So me and April went in 2007, and I went on the ghost tour that they had there.
I'm sorry, I went to another story with you in April.
So I went on the ghost tour. I went through the ship, all the hot spots or whatever, and I was annoyed because they have the ship's haunted. I felt it was haunted. Like how I feel stuff. I felt it's legit haunted. What it says, what I read is legit how I felt. But they have the boiler. I was in the boiler room, but they have like noise. They have machine like speakers. Yeah, speakers and shit, and it was all going off and shit. I'm like, I was disappointed in that. I'm like, come on, man. You have this historical ship and you have true hauntings, but you know what's the craziest shit? Is the hallways fucking look like the Shining Hotel. You know how they all look the same?
Hallways are no joke.
The hallways are no joke. I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to get lost on this ship.
And it was dark. I mean, it was not highly light. The hallways are narrow, and they're more narrow than the cruise ships that we go on today. Right. Carnival. And it's like, ooh, not like a hotel hallway.
Right.
A regular building hallway. It's smaller, but it was not as thin.
It's a beautiful ship. We had breakfast there, and then there was a Marilyn Monroe artifacts was on display at this museum there. So we went to eat breakfast, go tour in the museum of Marilyn Monroe. So I got to see all her stuff there. So that was pretty cool.
It was the ghost was still next door when you went.
Yeah,
because it was for what we do. Yeah.
Yeah. So I had a good time, but I was disappointed in the ghost tour that they had. But it was cool. I mean, I like the history of it. It was the first and only time I'll ever be on a cruise ship. It was stationary. That's the first and last time I'll ever be on a cruise ship. But yeah, that's that for our famous places. There's going to be more of these famous places around the world in future episodes, but this is what there is. But thank you for joining us on this journey to some of America's most haunted locations. Whether you're intrigued by history or drawn to the paranormal or both, these destinations offer a glimpse into the mysteries that linger in the shadows. Until next time, stay curious and stay haunted.